so that's the direction we're supposed to go. I do kind of want to poke around a little bit here. Is this going to give us the same information we saw previously when we looked at one of these walls?
I'm Jan Garson, founder
This is the
of
person I
initiative.
blame.
It's through your hard work that the vision of the Nexus has come to life.
Yeah, your hard work was not hard
all
enough.
Your colleagues bind our proud new colonies together.
You cut way too many
Look
corners.
around at your achievements. And if you have any questions, my door is always open.
Is it though?
Founder Garson's office is located at workspace not allocated.
Yeah.
Please select a topic.
Yeah. So, like, it's totally her fault?
Viable planets capable of supporting life are key to our survival in Andromeda. The viability of a world is affected by several factors, including temperature, resources, threat levels, political stability, and so on. We have few viable planets currently within range. Resource levels are considered at risk.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure, nor if you're referring to the lady who was mean to us we were talking about before, or if you're talking about the lady who I'm blaming right now, who's supposedly in charge of the Andromeda Initiative, but her eyes are kind of weird too. So in both cases, you are probably right.
You are Employee Ryder, Salary Code 19B, Active Pathfinder. Your supervisor is Director Tan.
Okay, so he's our boss.
Based on current staffing needs, you will be eligible for paid vacation time in 587 days.
Oh!
Seriously?
Why not
Come on,
plan
man.
on which beautiful colony you'll vacation on while you wait?
Yeah. Alright. They said that many of the staff have, well, died, and so the chain of command has been disrupted. But maybe we can learn more about that here.
For initiative strategy and Pathfinder coordination, please see Director Jaren Tan. For
Okay.
colonial affairs or outpost status, please see Director Foster Addison. For station maintenance, please contact Superintendent Nakmor Kesh. For militia operations or Apex deployment, please see Tyran Kandros.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that in the future, those distinctions are going to be more meaningful to us. So basically, those are more or less the four primary people that we've been introduced here. So it seems like each one is in charge of what? Basically, the annoying lady is the civilian stuff. The Turian dude is the military stuff. And I'm not sure for the Krogan person what exactly. Like just general exploration, and then the Solarian is in charge of everything overall.
Integration
Something
from the
like that. I don't
Hyperion
know, we'll
is
figure it out.
ongoing. Personnel are still restricted to operations.
Okay.
The selection process saw the Andromeda Initiative evaluate thousands of potential habitable planets within the galaxy. After discovering an unusually high ratio of potential candidates, or golden worlds,
Yeah, except they're not actually
the
golden
Helios
worlds.
cluster was selected as our destination. Even at a distance, studying the light from stars can reveal much about their planet's composition and atmosphere.
Except they kind of messed up on
Seven
that.
worlds, nicknamed habitats, have the life-supporting environments and resources we need to start our new lives in Andromeda.
Yeah, see, like, that's the kind of thing where you need to be really, really freaking sure that you're getting that part right before you send off, you know, this, what would probably have to be multi-trillion-dollar effort to send huge 20,000 groups of people sent on this ship in cryosleep over to colonize a new galaxy. You kind of need to make sure you have the fundamentals right at the very least, which, as we were saying, if the planet that we were supposed to colonize is nowhere near as hospitable as we had anticipated, then we kind of already made a huge fundamental flaw, and the entire mission is perhaps squandered right from the get-go. Turian I thought was station security? That might be. Maybe the Turian is specifically station security, and then the Krogan person is... somebody has to be working on the actual exploration of other locations, right? I mean, obviously that's kind of our job, yes, but I guess, oh, yeah, I guess, like, are we technically also sort of on that level with the people that we were just seeing outside of Tan, the leader? Like, we're the person who does the exploration, the Turian does the security on the station, and then the Krogan person does the security on the ground? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we talk more to these people and more firmly establish what it is that their role is going to be going forward. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and thanks for not spoiling. I appreciate that. Yeah. So exactly, you know, we'll learn these things over time. Of course, these are all just first impressions, and I'm sure at various points in time I'm mischaracterizing things that will later become clear. Okay, well, speaking of which, here is the Krogan lady that we might learn more about. Credits. Same stuff, different day. For posterity, in case the initiative goes belly up, which... starting to head in that direction, the Nexus is a 4-ring circus. Don't like how Tan operates, and his disdain for the Krogan is obvious. Oh, okay. So, of course, in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, back in the Milky Way, which is where that took place, in case that wasn't... I guess we didn't explicitly say that before, but yes. We were previously in the Milky Way for the other Mass Effect trilogy, whereas now, for Andromeda, we are obviously in the Andromeda galaxy. There were absolutely hostilities between the various species, some more so than others, of course, but there are many wars, and in general, there was, you know, a bit of resentment between some species, regardless of context in some cases, just general resentment. So, interesting to see to what extent being in a totally different setting, in a totally different galaxy, are those things still the case, or does everyone get along all hunky-dory because we're all on the same team here and we need to help each other to succeed? Seems like the answer to that is no. No, people are still not very nice to each other. So I believe his intentions are ultimately good, but he's an opportunist who's likely to create dissent. I don't see the Nexus coming together if he's left unchecked. A lot of people criticizing Tan. It's already polarizing Addison, the lady we don't like. Also, just remembering people's names is going to be a bit of a task at the beginning. She's taking the cue to circle the wagons. I think I can talk to Kandros is the Turian guy, about this, and at least try to get the two of us more coordinated. Or maybe not. Seriously hate this kind of drama. Yeah, so are we going to see the kind of interspecies drama? Perhaps. I assume that's from this person right here. Esh. Okay. I don't remember there.
I don't care.
Oh, I should have listened.
There you are.
That, but...
Hope the others haven't been giving you a hard time. There's a lot that needs doing. At least with the Hyperion hooked up and feeding us power, my team and I can get more work done.
Okay, from that angle, it didn't look as much like there's paint on the eyes, which is a little more comforting. Yeah, so what exactly do you do? Let's figure this out.
What kind of work do you do as superintendent?
All right,
I
superintendent.
was part of the team that originally designed and built this place.
Okay.
I keep the station functional, or as functional as possible, considering.
Does that mean you're actually like an engineer more than anything? Because that's not absolutely unheard of for the Krogan, but we saw the occasional Krogan engineer over the course of Mass Effect 2 and 3 on Tuchanka, their homeworld, but generally speaking, Krogan tend to be regarded as more the barbarians of sorts. Very aggressive, and not always ones to slow down and study and do sciencey things.
I noticed there aren't a lot of Krogan around.
Yeah.
You haven't spoken to number 8 yet, have you?
What? That's the name
Number
of the person?
Tan.
Oh.
Ask him why most of my people left. He'll have opinions.
Oh.
I can tell you this much. When the mutiny happened, a deal was made.
Oh.
My clan were supposed to settle matters and, in return, get more say in the initiative.
Okay. Well, there's a mutiny, huh? Okay. That maybe explains some of the reasons why people are not exactly big fans of this Tan person.
Why do you call Tan 8?
Because he was 8th in line to take over the Andromeda initiative.
Oh.
I like to remind him of that now and then. Keep him humble.
So it's kind of a dig. Bit of an insult for Tan, and just reinforces how many people got killed. Or otherwise, for whatever reason, were unable to lead the group. Because, yeah, if he was supposed to be the 8th in command, that's not a good sign. And perhaps you could make the case as one of the reasons why he's not as capable, because not really anticipated that the person who was 8th in line was ever going to be required to be calling all of the important shots.
Did the deal go through?
The clan held up their part, but Tan had a meltdown when he found out we wanted more say around here. Then Addison's assistant, Spender, pretended he never made the deal in the first place.
That's an ironic name.
It was a mess, but I don't blame my people for walking out. We're done being used.
Okay, so the Krogan Krogan kinda got the bad end of a deal with Tan.
With your clan gone, why did you stay?
It's complicated. The station and my clan both need me here.
Okay, so I'm sure this is just the first layer, and we will continue to peel away at this metaphorical onion, learning more about what exactly happened here with the mutiny and the Krogan in general, and what their ties are to Kesh, and why Kesh is still here, but they aren't, and all that stuff, so we'll figure it out in time. Okay, and again, we're going to try to be pretty darn thorough, talking to people, learning about backstories, exploring, doing side quests, and all those types of things.
What sort of problems have you seen on the Nexus?
Situation's gone to shit pretty much sums it up.
Oh.
There's arcs missing. Some idiots tried to mutiny and take over, then more idiots offended my clan, so they left. And to top it all off, the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, was killed.
See, this is supposed to make me upset, but I kind of have to hold back a smile. Because that is the lady who I was saying I did not particularly like. I suppose, technically, we could have assumed that she was dead when we learned that Tan is in charge and he's supposed to be the 8th in line, and this Gian Garson person was presumably supposed to be number 1, so she died, and then her second in command, third in command, fourth in command, so on and so forth, all went down. So, oh no, she's dead. Boo-hoo, I am so sad.
What happened to Jean Garson?
Jean.
Killed in the Scourge disaster. Her and a bunch of the other leaders. Tan might know more.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the first time we've heard mention the Scourge. We might have gotten a little bit of an explanation for it before, but, I mean, it sounds like a disease of some variety, but...
And I thought the Hyperion had it bad when we arrived. Anything else?
The outposts aren't happening because we don't have resources or people, so Addison's more uptight than ever. And let's not forget how badly the station was damaged on arrival. But that's a detail, according to some. My team and I are repairing what we can. If we don't get materials soon, things will go downhill. Fast.
So it seems like that's sort of the chicken and the egg problem, and one of the primary problems is, of course, getting the world, the planet, that we can settle in the first place, using that to get the resources so we can then build up the station and get it back into functioning form and whatnot. But we can't really do that until we get the planet, but we can't discover / explore / research and investigate the planets before we get people, because we need more people to do that, but we can't bring the people out of cryosleep until we have the resources to sustain them, and so, yeah, it's just a very tricky thing where something needs to break the deadlock. The negative feedback loop. Please, I've heard of positive feedback loops. What's a negative feedback loop? It's a system in which there are forces in place that keep the system in its current state, rather than positive feedback loop, which is the opposite, where there are forces that make a system dramatically go off in one direction or another. To phrase that terribly, but you get the basic idea.
When we left the Milky Way, the Krogan were still dealing with the genophage.
Right. The genophage. A little gift to our people from the Solarians thousands of years ago.
Is it really that long?
That sterility virus they infected us with left most of our children stillborn. Only 1 in 1,000 survive.
Okay, so I was curious to see to what extent they might talk about that here, but yes, so I was talking before about the hostilities between various species back in the Milky Way in the previous Mass Effect games, and yes, that is one of the biggest ones, and so basically the Solarians, which is the species that Tan is one of, created a biological weapon that made it so that only 1 in 1,000 Krogan births would be successful, so the Krogan were functionally a quote-unquote dying species after that bioweapon got introduced, until we at least had the option in Mass Effect 3 to potentially save the Krogan and fix the genophage. Mass Effect 3 Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 spoilers, in case that wasn't clear. We are going to probably talk about that a lot over the course of this game, but that probably goes without saying, but there, it's been acknowledged. That is going to happen.
No wonder your people have such a problem with Solarians.
Some wounds never heal. Not that my ancestors didn't provoke it. They did try to conquer the galaxy. The Solarians were forced to respond. And it's not fair to blame it all on them, either. The Solarians developed the virus, but it was the Turians who deployed it.
Also
I'm
true.
hoping that's all in the past. Plenty of blame to go around, but Andromeda is about new beginnings. My people need that more than most.
So, yeah, that's hostilities, a reason for some hostilities between Krogan, Turians, and Solarians. And it seems like that is very much still a real thing here in the Andromeda Galaxy. And although technically in Mass Effect 3 that could potentially be resolved, again, the arcs for the Andromeda Galaxy left the year before Mass Effect 3. So although technically that has already happened in the Milky Way Galaxy, the genophage may have been cured, we just wouldn't know about it. So that's kind of an interesting little workaround there.
What about the Krogan here in Andromeda?
There's no cure for it. But my clan was starting to show mutation against the virus. A natural defense. During the trip to get here, Krogan underwent gene therapies to enhance the mutation while we were in stasis.
Oh?
So you used those 600 years to your advantage. Gave the adaptation more time to develop.
Yeah. It's still early, but I think we made a dent. Our scientists say we've improved viability to almost 4%, which is a lot better than what we had.
That's 4 times
Beyond
better.
all the statistics, it means more Krogan children will live. It's the only way
no.
my people have a future out here.
Wait, it was 1 in 1,000 before, so it's 0.01%, so it's 40 times better. That's substantially better. Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal. Maybe still not enough to hold a sustainable population, but maybe not totally out of the question. And, of course, then again, kind of putting the cart before the horse here, we'd still need a planet or two to sustain people before we're talking about trying to, prepare for subsequent generations and holding stable populations, because right now, we don't have any planet that can hold any stable population. Okay, so that seems like all for now.
Nothing more for now.
Try not to die out there.
Oh, thanks. But I get the sense we will talk a lot more to Kesh. Also, I feel like I definitely recognize
The op center to
Kesh's
the top
voice.
of our priority list.
I'm pretty sure Kesh's voice actress did someone's voice in previous Mass Effect game, but I couldn't quite put my finger on who it was.
Hyperion power draw is now at 100%.
Okay, shall we... let's go over to talk to Tan, right? Yes, I'm sure we can still talk to other people, but it seems like what they say is going to maybe not be quite as full as it might be after we get the basics from Tan here.
This is the planet where we landed. Habitat 7. It wasn't even close to livable.
That's been true of every world we found. Ryder, we were discussing your next expedition.
Like, that's just such a fundamental failing. Like, alright, the Andromeda Initiative, over. We failed. Like, if you get that wrong, there is no saving the mission, in realistic terms. So hey, I mean, I guess maybe we can find a way to pull off the unthinkable here, and could make for an interesting game, but it's just, again, the incompetence of the people planning this initiative is kind of ludicrous. Genophage Krogan females would... That's the other thing. Technically speaking, Krogan, not like humans, Krogan can give birth to, upwards of 1,000 eggs per year? So yeah, having a 4% success rate for births is still, one would assume, more than enough to at least have some kind of stable Krogan population. The whole reason for much of the hostilities back in the Milky Way galaxy before the genophage was because the Krogan population was not stable. It was rapidly expanding to the extent that it was causing problems with the Krogan trying to take over other people's planets that were already accounted for, and hostilities ensued. War ensued. Exactly. Krogan, under normal circumstances, can reproduce at an alarming rate, which was the primary reason for introducing the genophage to begin with. So, I mean, you could make the case, as cruel as it might be, that, okay, maybe the genophage was an overcompensation for Krogan's rapid reproduction, but having the Krogan only partially recover from the genophage, such that they have a more, quote-unquote, normal reproduction rate, where, basically, talking about the science behind it, there's what's the correct term for it? Is it replacement rate? Or basically you can think of it as, if you are assuming that it takes 2 Krogan to reproduce, then a Krogan needs to have 2 children in order to replace the 2 parents. So basically, having 2 Krogan children, or for any species for that matter, having 2 children means that you are keeping a stable population. Technically, the number is usually a little bit over 2 to account for people who die before they can reproduce, but looking at it from a purely scientific perspective, having a slightly above 2 birth ratio per person is generally the number you're looking for. So for the Krogan before genophage, it was way higher than that. And they either don't die of age, or they just live. They can live into like about 1,000 or so they can live a long time. Don't know for how long they're actually capable of reproducing, but all that is to say that yes, Krogan, if left to their own devices, are capable of reproducing at an alarming rate, well over their replacement rate. So that is why genophage was created, and why, from a purely scientific, amoral standpoint, you could make the case that the Krogan having a birth rate that is more along the lines of, A, the Krogan have enough offspring to basically just maintain a stable population. That's what you're looking for when you're building a colony, because if one Krogan has 1,000 children in a year, then how the heck are you going to be able to sustain a colony that grows by several orders of magnitude every year? Because good luck finding all the resources to do that. We can barely sustain the amount of people we have here, and we haven't even awakened everyone from cryosleep. So, again, it is an interesting scientific question for that reason, and one of the things that you do legitimately need to consider when you're talking about colonizing a new area, a new planet, or galaxy, or whatever.
Good. I was starting to wonder who was in charge around here.
Director Addison is entitled to her opinion, and mine overrules hers.
Does she know that?
I oversee the entire initiative, and I have decided to give you a chance to prove yourself. To that end, the Scourge dealt us a serious blow. Whatever it is, our scientists theorize it's not natural.
Okay.
An artificial energy cloud?
It's the energy
It wasn't
cloud,
here
okay.
when we left the Milky Way, yet it rendered all the golden worlds unlivable. Then there's the aliens you ran into, the Ket. They're obsessed with alien structures we found scattered around the cluster. They'll do anything to prevent others from accessing them. It seems murder isn't exclusive to the Milky Way. And now the challenge is to settle a world in spite of all that. This one here. Eos.
How?
You need to increase the viability of the planet so we can establish an outpost. Then we can bring more colonists out of stasis. The more colonists we have, the more resources we can gather to support the Nexus. Everything depends on it. There are 6 worlds we hope to settle.
Okay, but you said every planet you found is unlivable. So, how do I...
A good pathfinder would relish the challenge of solving it.
True.
Right.
Terraforming.
I think I should go check on things.
And if I fail, I guess it's no sweat off your back, right? You'll just look for another pathfinder?
Placing bets on people is part of my job. Some of them pay off. Others
don't. Yeah, so I guess that's the one thing that I haven't really acknowledged, is the fact that terraforming, which is basically the act of engineering a planet to be more viable for, generally, people to live on it, is something that, presumably, the Andromeda Initiative was prepared for to a certain extent, but it seems as though the extent to which terraforming is necessary is a lot greater than everyone was planned to accommodate. Yeah, and that's kind of, like, there are comparisons for the genophage to some things that happened IRL. Okay. So let's see. Don't play games with us.
The way I see it, you need me. If I pull this off, maybe you'll look like the leader you pretend to be.
But first, you have to succeed at being the pathfinder you pretend to be.
Oh.
Where's my ship?
They're prepping it now in the docking bay. The coordinates for Eos will be in the computer. And when you have a moment, we should discuss the missing arcs.
I was wondering about that. Ah!
What?
Something wrong?
Sam?
Ryder, please see me and Sam node on the Hyperion. Your implant needs attention, and we need to discuss a confidential matter.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Okay, so that's really the first time we've had Sam... Oh, hold on. Can we still... I guess we haven't really tried to scan much here. Can we... Wait, hold on. We need to scan him. We need to scan him to see how capable he actually is as a leader. Ah, sorry. No relevant leadership capabilities. He's doomed. Okay. Let's head back. Speak with Sam on the Hyperion. Okay, maybe we'll mingle a little bit more. Oh. You sure about that? Okay, this can lock us on.
Hey, you okay?
I'm fine. My arms got the brunt of it.
Stuff
Sure you're
exploding
fine?
like this happen often?
Back right after the mutiny, we had a lot of this happening. But not lately.
What, so someone
I
sabotaged
wasn't
this thing?
there
Is that
during
what
the
you're saying?
mutiny.
Lucky. I thought we were done with this, honestly. That maybe I was just being paranoid.
Okay, but is there more to it than just that?
You know what they say. It's not paranoia.
If someone is out to get you, yeah. Third time this week. It's getting worse. First one was small stuff. This one could have hurt bad if I'd been closer.
That's not good. Sorry, understatement.
Yeah. And now I have more repairs.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm definitely curious to try out, because we play a lot of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And I'm probably not about to do Andromeda multiplayer anytime soon, because I want to get further into the game before we do so. Because I don't want to run into major spoilers or anything like that. Like if there's a dramatic, powerful enemy reveal that comes at this critical time in one of the missions, and it just doesn't really have any weight to it, because we've already seen that enemy in a random multiplayer game in which it just automatically spawns in by wave 7, then, you know, that kind of detracts a bit from the campaign. So, gonna wait, I don't know if until we finish Andromeda altogether, or at least until we're a reasonable way through before we actually try out the Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. But I do, certainly at some point, want to give it a look.
Whoever's doing this has to be stopped before someone gets seriously hurt.
That's what I'm trying to do. But I'm an engineer, not a BI.
Ah, but that's where
I've
we come in.
scanned all the potential sabotage areas I can think of. But I don't know who to trust anymore.
Sounds like a lot went down before the Hyperion docked.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, that's it. You can't possibly be involved in this. You weren't even here during the mutiny.
True.
Would you, if you have time? Maybe you could help me. If they start hitting critical systems.
Yeah, so that's what I was wondering, is if this would lead into a little side quest here, so definitely. Let's check it out.
Sure thing. What can I do?
If you could scan these other panels while I fix this one, that'd really help. I've sent the locations to your Omni tool. Just send me the data when you're done.
Okay, nice. So we are accumulating a list of things for us to do. In fact, did those just show up on our map? That'd be nice if they did. Stations, Addison's office, maybe not.
Find out why.
Cash, this is Mello. The console for the secondary management system is fixed. Everything checks out. It should sync up with the Hyperion's remote consoles. Moving on to the next thing on my list.
So occasionally in Mass Effect 3 in particular, just by hanging out next to people as they're talking, occasionally, I don't know if you ever got quests from that, but you would get some updates of some variety.
This is Yolanda. You busy? All right. Well, I'm not seeing any of your requisitions in the Hyperion inventory. Yeah, looks like the blasters got displaced at the last minute. Hopefully one of the other arcs will have some in stock. I'll keep an eye out.
In addition to these just pieces of dialogue that we hear here. So I'm not sure to what extent, if any, those types of things can happen in Andromeda, but I am kind of curious to see, loitering around some of these people before we went into those previous discussions for that reason as well. What does this person do? I know they're being funky. Person looks important.
Leah, try firing off sets 23B to 54C in the third quadrant. Did that work? Excellent. I'll move on to the next set. We'll get this place fixed eventually.
Transport technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling annex.
Let's see, so that journal update, we got the little side quest. There, we heard about... There are things other than priority ops, but how do we switch to things that are not priority ops? This is obviously the main quest here. But I'm curious in the one that we learned a little bit more about. Oh, okay. Wait, no, priority ops. Additional tasks, here we are. So, getting to know the next... Oh, no, but this isn't it. I was thinking about the one where we were just talking to the engineer dude. Hoping we could maybe get the spots highlighted where we're supposed to check out. Oh.
This is a nightmare.
Militia office. Okay.
What am I going to
We'll definitely oh, she definitely needs some... Oh, that's Kandros. Okay, so we obviously know him. Hold on. Can we scan this? No. We can check it out. Strike Team's missions.
This
What is
console
this?
reports on the militia's current strike team missions, Pathfinder. Please speak with Tyrion Kandros for authorization to participate.
Oh. Okay. I imagine maybe we'll learn more from Kandros. Just send me the files and, you know, no permission checking. Just gotta love the future. You know, who needs passwords and encryption and that stuff, right?
That's the console for our strike teams.
What are they?
Assault and extraction squads. When we need the best, I have Apex, combat experts who've signed up to defend us. Since you have a front row view of the cluster, I can give you authority to dispatch them.
Seems like that's a pretty quick... Oh, sure, just take all of my troops, all my best soldiers. Yeah, whatever, man. I don't care what you do with them. You have good line of sight on things that are happening in the galaxy. Sure, why not? Go for it. I met you yesterday. I met you 10 minutes ago. Sure.
I'll deploy your people carefully, Kandros.
Appreciate that, Ryder. But trust me, Apex can handle themselves. Authorization complete. Good luck out there.
Yeah, never mind, you know, that I'm putting the lives of all of my troops in the hands of what is almost a complete stranger. But yeah, you know, do whatever. Spoilers okay for Mass Effect 1 through 3? Yes, that's fine. Well, so yeah, as I was saying a little while ago, we are probably going to talk a lot about Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, make a lot of comparisons. So, we have played Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, the Legendary Edition, on YouTube, and I will eventually end up posting these, this stream onto YouTube for VODs as well. So, I've played before, I've played several times before, so, no worries there for spoilers on that stuff, but for other people who are watching Mass Effect Andromeda here, I would recommend that if you have not either played or watched a playthrough of Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, that you check that out, because we are, I mean, I don't know to what extent we're going to have significant spoilers, but we have already talked about some pretty significant things from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 already, so, I mean, that kind of thing is going to end up happening. He needs the troops for his leadership merit badge. Okay, can we actually access this now? Now we can. Okay, so this is going to be a complex system that we are probably not about to understand in the blink of an eye, but strike teams can be sent on missions to support the Andromeda Initiative. If they succeed, they'll earn XP and Ryder will gain a reward. They will gain XP or we will gain XP. Are those two distinct things? If they fail, they'll earn only a small amount of XP and no special reward. Do they cost monies to send out? Probably. Apex is the most elite strike team in the cluster and handle critical missions. Select a mission and press A to send Apex. Oh, so what do we have, like multiple different squads? And then Apex is like our elite team that we only send out for the big stuff? Your progress will be automatically saved before, or is everything an Apex team? Your progress will be automatically saved before multiplayer is oh, wait, is this tied to multiplayer though? Your progress will be automatically saved before multiplayer is launched. You will then play the role of an Apex operative in a small squad. Okay. Play Apex missions in multiplayer, either with friends or through public matchmaking to earn strike team rewards for Ryder and additional bonuses. Okay, so that's actually interesting. Keep at a minimum the references for others that may not have played 1 through 3 yet. Yeah, so I'm going to try, I mean, to the extent possible. I'm not just going to be like, oh, well, this is the plot of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, spoilers, which I have already done to a certain extent, but, you know, if there are relevant things that pop up where it's like, oh, this ties to such and such specific thing from Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, then I'm probably going to call it out and talk a little bit about that. But, not about to just recite the entirety of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, so, you know, there will be some spoilers, and I am going to talk about some of the spoilers, but, you know, for that reason, I would recommend that if people have not played Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, or seen Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, that you check it out. I mean, it's my favorite series, my favorite game, Mass Effect 1 in particular. Hot take there to a certain extent, but yeah. So let's see. So the interesting thing here is that talking about Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 and multiplayer, I was saying how I play a lot of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and once upon a time, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer did have an impact on the Mass Effect 3 campaign. However, with the Legendary Edition, the new and basically remastered HD version of the original Mass Effect trilogy, they did not include multiplayer, and therefore, the way in which multiplayer used to affect the game, the narrative, the campaign for Mass Effect 3 no longer existed. It got removed for Legendary Edition. So I've never actually, and when I originally played Mass Effect 1, 2, 3 before Legendary Edition came out, I did not play multiplayer at all. So basically, what I mean by that is, I've actually never played a Mass Effect campaign while also simultaneously playing the corresponding multiplayer. So I have never actually experienced the ways in which the multiplayer is supposed to interact with the campaign. So I am realizing here that this is a reference to Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. And so for a second there, it's like, oh, okay, we'll do multiplayer at some point, right? Probably after we do the campaign or very close to the end. And then I'm realizing, oh, wait, but hold on, they actually feed into one another. So it's kind of might be important for us to be a little bit more proactive with when and where we start doing the multiplayer stuffs. So that is something that I may need to consider. Also, I may have just unplugged my headphones. 1 second. Yeah, in Mass Effect 3, the multiplayer, yeah, it wasn't like a huge, well, I mean, kind of, again, like, don't need to go into the super specifics for spoiler reasons, because it had some effect. Not a humongous effect, but it had some effect. The multiplayer did on Mass Effect 3, whereas I just never interacted with it when it mattered. I never interacted with it. Okay, so, yeah, play Apex missions in multiplayer, either with friends or through public matchmaking to earn strike team rewards for Ryder and additional bonuses. So, if those are going to give us bonuses that are going to help us in our Mass Effect Andromeda campaign, then it may make sense for us to start doing multiplayer a little bit quicker. So these missions are currently available for your strike team. Select a mission with A to send a strike team. Pick back daily. Okay, so false flag operations. So basically what I'm wondering is, are there things that we do that do not require obviously some of these things require multiplayer, but are there some things that we just do and we send out, like, our people who are not, but is there a way that we send out troops that affect this system that is not directly tied to multiplayer? Because I imagine that might still be the case, and it looks like false flag might be the way that happens. This icon describes the difficulty of the mission. I assume that's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, like in multiplayer and in Mass Effect 3, so that looks bronze to me, and that would make sense at the beginning, because that would be the lowest. Read the description for each mission, the time limit to attempt the mission, the reward for successfully completing the mission, and any mission traits or properties. So eliminate supply ships, time required, hour 38, expires in 16 hours. We're tracking a few cargo ships ferrying supplies to enemy forces. Find those ships and take them out. Mission traits, enemy is Ket. Poor weather conditions, don't actually know what that means. Maybe lightning, kind of like what we saw in the previous location where we're doing the campaign. Alien presence, rewards, 5 mission funds. Don't really have context to know what that contributes toward or how significant that is. I imagine it's probably pretty small though, since this is the first one. Pathfinder rewards, bronze credit loot box. Kind of like, wait, okay, so in Mass Effect 3, yeah. So kind of like how Assassin's Creed, and I admittedly have not really played Assassin's Creed, send out NPC recruits on time missions. I don't know. Let's see. So eliminate supply ships, false flag operation. Okay, so this one I think is just NPCs, whereas the Apex one, yeah, if it says Apex, this is a multiplayer one, I think. So we've got intel about bad blood between multiple hostile groups in the area. We'd like to encourage that? Take out, enemy of my enemies, they're all fighting each other. That's helpful, I guess. Take out one group and leave evidence to incriminate the other. Enemies everywhere! There's a Mass Effect 1 callback for you. Outlaw, bribe attempt, 10 mission funds. Okay, some of these things are lost on me, but then Sabotage enemy operations is not Apex. Hostile forces are resisting our attempts to gain a foothold in the area. Hit their base and sabotage their operations while we prepare the offensive. We need a hero. Need a hero for the end of the night. Remnants, which I'm not sure really know what that means. Alien presence, 5 points, and then we're back up to the top. So what happens if we do this? So, okay, we basically have one NPC squad we can send. It's Tango Squad. They need 6,400 experience before they level up. Positive traits, they are Ket specialists, and this is a Ket enemy, so that sounds like we should send them against these dudes. Plus 10 effectiveness against Ket. Negative traits, none. Equipment traits, none, but that seems like the kind of thing where those could get modified over time. Eliminate supply ships, so they have a 78% chance of success, and takes them 1.64 hours. I guess we start the mission with them? And we just cross our fingers that they succeed? I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out as we go along. So that's cool. Then there's this person, who looks important, because I believe this is a female Turian who has an exclamation point next to her name.
Just wrong. It's not right. It's not fair.
What's wrong?
Oh my, you're... So it's true. A pathfinder has found us.
Yep.
There's hope at last. Maybe you could help. You're impartial. This whole thing has gotten so political. My husband, he's locked up and slated for exile.
That doesn't sound good.
He didn't commit.
Sure about that? Are we just supposed to trust you on that?
Exile, huh? Guess it wasn't for having a hand in the cookie jar.
They say it's murder. They're calling him the first murderer in Andromeda, but the dead man was his friend. He wouldn't have...
Okay, but see, we don't know
There
that.
are witnesses and evidence, but it's all circumstantial. At worst, it was an accident.
See, you're kind of just asking us to...
His name is Nilken Rensis. He could give you the details if you were willing to speak with him. Please.
Okay, I mean, we'll check it out. I was gonna say, like, if you're just asking us to... Just trust me, bro. This person totally isn't a murderer. You should believe me. You know, gonna have to give us a little more to go off than that.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure the jailer will allow you a visit.
Hopefully, I guess.
Tell Nilken I love him.
Oh. Okay. And new areas discovered, and we're continuing to pick up more side quests of sorts. Is that Liam? That is Liam.
Andromeda.
You'd be surprised.
Pathfinder, no time for our beer yet. This place is a mess. Security is... let's call it strained.
I can believe it. The Nexus is running on empty.
Not just that. A lot of the exiles were security. Everyone was trained and armed for Frontier. We know Ket are dangerous, and now we have to worry about our people too. No idea where they went, but they left mad.
Oh, so yeah, we heard about mutinies, we heard about people who, in general, just left and may now be somewhat hostile, and they are trained for combat. So that might not be a good thing for us.
They were frustrated. If they just wanted to kill, they could have fought to the last here.
Apparently we're the big hope for everyone. Not the Hyperion showing. Just us. I'm with you. It's just... a lot.
We'll figure it out, don't worry.
As long as the Nexus is here, as long as we're here, we have a job to do.
Double down crisis mode. I can do that. We can do that. Ready and willing, Pathfinder.
Alright, I feel like I heard somebody say at one point as well that Liam is a little bit preoccupied with this whole I just want a beer thing, and it kind of gets dragged on a little bit too much, which I am starting to get that feeling as well. Like, okay, we get it. You wanted to have a drink. What do you got here? All right, can we just let that go? Can we put that aside for the time being? Other things have happened. Situations have changed. Circumstances a little bit different from what we expected. Can we move on? But again, small things, not a huge deal. But okay. So yeah, we'll, I suppose, see if we can figure out some of those other side quests that we've learned about here.